Good afternoon, people of YouTube. I'm here today, as you can see, up in heaven, up there, that I'm going to be doing a review on The Help by Kathryn Stockett. Now, this is a very hyped book. The film came out last year. I think the book was published in 2009, though, and I'm going to do a quick review of it now, obviously. And just to quickly say, this is one of my favourite books that I've read this year. It's a really good book, and I'd pretty much recommend it to anyone, really. It's actually adult fiction, but I'm sure if you're like a teenager, you can appreciate it, because a lot of the characters are sort of in their 20s, they're quite young. But for any of you who don't know, The Help is set in 1960s America, in Mississippi, I believe. And it's about these women who are housemaids who are black, and how they do their job and how they get on with all the white people. So it's a book about kind of civil rights. There's also mentions of like the KKK and Martin Luther King and stuff like that. And there's also a white woman in it who decides she's going to write a book about what it's like for these black maids, and which is basically the premise of the book. And in America, in this time, they call the black people who helped out, they call them the helps. That's why the book is called that. So yeah, the plot was really good for this book. It wasn't at all boring. The chapters are all quite short. The font's reasonable, and I read it in like 4 days, which to me is very fast. I think it's 440 odd pages. Yeah, the plot was very enjoyable. So I've not really planned this review. I really should have done. There were some parts of the plot though. For example, the white woman has like this boyfriend, and it's kind of irrelevant, but that really didn't spoil the enjoyment. It's kind of added to the character. All the characters in it were absolutely great. The two black maids were really interesting. There's one called Minnie, who sort of is really kind of stereotypical black woman who goes around saying, "I don't need no man," and all that kind of stuff. And she's very funny. It was a very thought-provoking book, actually, because it presented civil rights in a not very in-your-face way, in a very kind of thoughtful way. I think it was also actually quite funny. There's some pretty funny dialogue in it, and I think all the characters were very believable. Yeah, I sped through it really kind of fast, and I think that the character development and that was really good in this book. As I said, this book is mainly about women, so it's a little bit feminist. So if you're a man, you may not be so keen, because it's a lot about these people who like clean houses. But I think it could appeal to anyone who's interested in history or the civil rights movement or anything. In terms of skipping now to the ending of the book, I don't think anyone would be disappointed. The ending was very believable and kind of hopeful. The book really is about sort of struggling through not very pleasant things and how to get over them. And so, yeah, I think it was a very uplifting book, and I'd really definitely recommend it to anyone, whether or not you usually read adult fiction or not. I think it's a really interesting book that I think would appeal to many people, and it's Kathryn Stockett's debut novel, so I hope she writes some more. In terms of the writing style, it's written from the point of view of these three different women, and it's first person, but it alternates each chapter between them, which I thought was good because it stopped the book being boring. And not that it would have been boring, but it just made it more interesting. And one of the characters in particular, one of the black women, it's my cat again. She talks in this very kind of black southern dialect from America, which is a little hard to understand at first, but I finally got used to it pretty quickly, so that shouldn't put you off the book at all. I think it just made it more believable to what the situation probably would have actually been like at the time. And just quickly, if anyone who wants to see the film as well, the film is pretty true to the book. There is one particular disgusting moment. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I think this book is appropriate pretty much for anyone of any age, really. Although there is one kind of nasty description of a miscarriage, which is kind of gross. So you might want to avoid this book if you're massively squeamish, or you're like 10, I don't know. And one of the characters in it also makes a pie for one of the white people who's not very nice, and puts something rather disgusting in that pie, but you have to read it to find out what she puts in that pie. So yeah, the film's also very good. I read this then watched the film. The film was pretty true to the book, but it did adapt stuff a little bit, but I think that was necessary for it to work. So thanks for watching. This is my review. Comment and all that crap. I'll see you at some point. Goodbye.